Hello, 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 hello. The man I keep talking about her is Penny back there. She almost was on camera. I guess she decided she didn't want to be, but anyway, maybe she might show up on camera yet when she decides she wants to move. But that's Penny. Say hi, Penny. Say hi. See, there's Penny. So say hi. Wave. Okay. No, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but that's beside the point. So she's gonna look over the shoulder. You want to get over here? Okay. This is not what I expected to do today. I just started that once that happened when she was there. But anyway, so we do this. What I've got today is a quote that comes, well, variations of different quotes that I've heard from different people. This one I say is attributed to Voltaire, and somebody named Jim Collins may have had a variation of it, but so you've probably seen it somewhere along the line. And if you haven't, you'll get it from me for the first time. Don't let the don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. So let's think about that. So here I am in my less than perfect sweatshirt because it's cold outside with my very perfect dog. She's perfect, but we'll ignore that little detail. But I think, especially at this time of year, this quote struck me because I think so many people are going to get into the idea of they want to do the perfect holiday, the perfect gift, perfect Christmas or Kwanzaa or whatever you're happening to do or whatever you're looking for. So you're wanting to do the perfect thing, whatever that thing is going to be. My question is it worth, yes, it's worth to get a good piece of paper, gets a good thing to be perfect. But if you think in terms of all the agony and the pain that people go through to make it perfect, is it really worth it? So if you're struggling to make the perfect gift, then you get really all upset to make sure that everything is just so. And is that really what they want? How many of you, for example, or either you've experienced because you've given it to the children, or you've experienced it yourself as a person getting a gift, and what somebody thought was perfect wasn't quite right, or the children, you give them something fantastic and then they like the box better than they like the gift, kind of thing. Um, so you worry about getting the perfect meal or the perfect occasion or the perfect decorations, and does anybody even pay attention to them? So when you start to get all that anxiety about trying to make things perfect, it works things out on yourself, makes things more stressful for you. Then you begin to have second thoughts about it, and everything sort of like just kind of goes downhill, and you lose the fun of it, don't you? And is that going to be the thing that people are going to remember? If you say step back and just decide this is going to be as good as I can make it, or we're going to have fun, or whatever, instead of looking for perfection, you might make better memories. You might make more fun on your part because you're not going to be so stressed trying to be so perfect that it's going to sort of like fall apart. Because if you're working at perfect and something goes wrong, you are not going to be happy and you're going to get a little stressed out and you're going to be thinking about it. And then it makes you, in a sense, uncomfortable to be around. Have you ever been around with somebody else who's trying to work things to make it so perfect and they're almost micromanaging and you don't like being around them because it's like they're just into every single little detail? And do you really want to get to be like that yourself? So if you relax and just think in terms of I'm going to do as well as I can do, and that's all I can do, and let's have fun and enjoy this in the process, why aim for being perfect with everything just so right? Does that make sense? Because when you try and make things perfect, you put more stress on yourself and everything sort of like becomes less perfect almost by definition because you'll probably never make it anyway. And even if you do by chance make something perfect, then what's the next step? Is you have to repeat it. So think about it. If you get to have the perfect gift for all of the people on your list, that means you're going to have to do it again and again and again. And then you lose all the fun in looking for the gifts, assuming, of course, that it was fun in the first place. But it becomes a chore and then it becomes a challenge that you have to do it again. Correct? Have you ever thought about it from that particular standpoint? Because once you've done something perfectly, you've got to do it again. So let's think of tasks. You're giving a presentation, you're writing a paper, you're writing something, or you're doing something other than, say, like giving a gift. If you're giving a presentation, okay, let me look at it from this particular standpoint. I'm giving you, in a sense, some comments from me on YouTube. Okay, I could spend a lot of time trying to make it perfect, which is not going to be really easy to do because I don't know all that much about the technology of doing it anyway. But is it the perfection that's got you, or is what I'm saying that you're listening to me? And the odds are is that in many cases you're not paying attention. At least I hope you're not paying attention to what I'm wearing or to what my hair looks like or what the dog's doing in the background or some such thing like that, as much as you're paying attention to what I'm listening, what I'm saying. So as long as I can get the word across and explain what I'm saying, and that's something that you want to hear, what does it mean for the rest of the details to be whether I've got the perfect lighting, whether I've got the perfect hair do, and all of that sort of stuff? Because then you're looking at, or you need to be looking at, depending on what it is you're trying to accomplish, what's the goal and what's the end result of whatever it is you're trying to do. If you're trying to get a point across, perfection usually isn't going to do it. When students write things for me, I usually tell them that they try too hard to be academic, to be bright, to look intelligent, because then they start using big words and then they start using complicated sentences. And it gets to the point that people who read that material have no clue what they're talking about. It's much easier to say something, well, it's not easier actually to say something clearly and straightforward. That's actually harder than it is to be right academic writing. You can construct a sentence with big fancy words, and I could do that quite easily. But what's the point if you guys are going to look at it and say, what the hell did she just say? The whole point's lost. It becomes harder to write something clearer, to make sense to the whoever it is that's reading it, or if I'm giving a speech, to make somebody understand what I'm saying and make it good enough that people understand. Does it have to be perfect? Does it have to win a prize? Probably not. Your goal is to get people to understand. And that's not necessarily perfection, is it? So if you think in terms of what is it you're trying to accomplish and how much do you need to get that done? In other words, do you need to use certain words or do you need to use certain examples to explain what you're looking for? Maybe not necessarily the perfect words, but as long as they leave what your presentation and understand what you're talking about, as long as they leave your party and they had fun, as long as they get your gift and they appreciate it, isn't that what counts anyway? Are they going to remember whether you wrapped it perfectly? Because 5 minutes afterwards, if it takes even that long, after everybody gets a hold of the gifts, it's going to be one big fat mess of paper and trash anyway. Why worry about the perfect? Okay, I hope this made sense, and I hope it gives you something to think about because, especially as we're going into the holiday season, that so many of you are going to try and do the perfect holiday. And I'm going to say that I'm not quite sure that that exists, actually. Besides which, we could have another point of saying is that what's perfect for you may not be perfect for somebody else. So just because you've got a perfect holiday, you might want all the lights and everything else like that. But if somebody's around you is saying, why can't we just have something simple? Then where's perfect? So I hope this gives you something to think about. If it did, make some comments. If you've got other thoughts on it, if you disagree with me, make some comments. But let me know what you think about it. And if you found it helpful, and if you enjoyed watching my dog burrow under, I told you she burrows under the, so you actually got to see her today, what she does. She's a burrower, which was not what I intended. So that's definitely not part of my perfect video. But I hope this was helpful, and let me know what you think. And have a good week. And oh, I decided that I wasn't going to do the Black Friday thing because if your inbox is like my inbox, you've got emails galore, and I didn't want to get lost in it. So I will probably do something probably later this week, but I'll let you know more about that. So if you got any questions or anything else like that, send me an email and we will chat with you later. Bye, everybody.